Hey everybody, Luke here. You know, life is too busy to play Warhammer. My son is going to be born in 3 weeks. I had to spend the time preparing his nursery, making it all woodland themed for him. Then we had the Steam summer sales. Then the weather was nice, so I had to learn to grill some pizzas. Then I had to take up an exercise program so that I could balance out the pizzas. Then to balance out the exercise program, my family decided to start making their own ale. That started going well, so we've upgraded to cold fermented lagers. Then back to the Steam sales. Before you know it, it was anything I could do other than play Warhammer. And then I got this message. You dead? Well, Malorian raises an interesting point. It's been far too long since I put up a battle report. So, I've cut a cigar, I've given my dog a bone, poured myself a beer, and I've got 5 games of Blood in the Sun to go through. What is Blood in the Sun? If you're not familiar, it's a Warhammer tournament, 5 games, 2,400 points in Chicago. If you listen to the Garage Hammer podcast, you know all about it. It's not really their tournament, but some of the people who are, well, one of the co-hosts, Chris Yu, he's running it. And it's kind of some of the other guys that show up from time to time, give commentary, like Grant Feder. It's kind of his tournament. It's not really the official Garage Hammer tournament, but if there was going to be one, I think this would be it. All those guys are there. And it's a hell of a good time. They put on a really fun tournament. 2 days in Chicago in one venue, a really nice venue, great place, booze, Warhammer, lots of fun. These guys put up a really good tournament, really made us feel welcome. I can't wait to go back. My gaming crew goes there apparently every year. It's my first time going, but I'm always going to make it down there if I can because I had a really good time. So, I was originally, for Game 1, supposed to fight a Warriors of Chaos opponent, but he was a little too hungover from the festivities the night before, and so another person who was missing an opponent ended up playing me. I ended up with this Demons of Slaanesh army that looks really nice. I brought my Orcs and Goblins because, as you can tell, I was kind of out of the hobby, and that was what I had painted. I also had Vampire Counts, but I didn't really want to bring them. So, Orcs and Goblins, kind of a standard list for me. I'll run through that in a second. What do we have for the Slaanesh side? Well, okay, before I get into that, you got to bear in mind, standard tournament disclaimer on battle reports here. You only have 2.5 hours to play. You don't want to be taking a bunch of notes and a bunch of pictures and slowing it down. I'm already a slow enough player. So I took the best pictures I can, and my notes are sometimes spotty. You're going to just have to bear with me. I pieced it together pretty well, but this is probably not the highest quality battle report. So we've got all of our guys in the middle here. This is before deployment. Looking at the purple text, left to right, we've got... So it's all Slaanesh. He's not doing any sort of like, let's toss in a corn cannon here for flavor. No, it's all Slaanesh. It's fantastic. So Furies, he's got a Seeker Chariot, a Soul Grinder. He's got 2 groups of Seekers in the middle, which I think I'm a big fan of. He's got 2 Heralds. One's a BSB. Then he has his Keeper of Secrets there, which is, big old caster. I think he's rocking Lore Shadow. Tons and tons of points in that guy. A group of 20-plus Demonettes. Then he's got a second Chariot, another big old group of Demonettes, and then 4 Fiends of Slaanesh. So, a pretty cool army. Looks really good. I really like it. So, what did I bring? I've got, like I said, kind of my standard and what I had painted. I've got 6 Trolls, an Ragnarok, because I love my Ragnarok. 2 Mangler Squigs, a level 1 Goblin with a Dispel Scroll, a level 4 Savage with the Lucky Shrunken Head, Goblin Hero with a Great Weapon on a Cave Squig, Black Orc BSB to quell some animosity in that big old horde of savages there. Then I've got 20 Night Goblins with bows, a little bunker for that level 1 and some shooting. Got 2 Fanatics in there as well. Then I've got 18 Black Orcs. Now I went back and forth on this because it's 2,400 point tournament and you can bring special characters. Black Orcs really, if you ask me, don't do well unless they're in a horde or they have Grimgore. I guess and/or. But I always end up whiffing with the Black Orcs. They're great, but they die pretty quick. And 18 strong, I was like, I decided to bring them. Instead of doing Grimgore at 2,400 points, if you do Grimgore, you can't have level 4. So I really wanted that level 4. And so I ended up let's throw 18 Black Orcs to mop up the rest of the points in there. Let's give them the Flaming Banner. That'll be my kind of tool to deal with anything that's really high toughness. And anything with regen, give them the Flaming Banner. So that's what I did. Not pictured, I've got 2 Doom Divers, and I've got a Squig herd of 21 Squigs and 7 Handlers. So kind of my standard list, but I think I would have taken Grimgore and just go down to level 3 if I could do it again. Here are my spells, the important ones. I got Hand, I got Foot, and I got Sneaky Stabbing. So those are what I want. Here's deployment. So this scenario has a Temple of Skulls in the middle. It's really just victory points, but if you get a character who embraces who tries to, boost his stats by embracing the favor of the gods on the Temple of Skulls, you can get victory points that way. So we're all just going to kind of race for it. Maybe we'll do it, maybe we won't. But you can tell his deployment, he's all boxed in right there, so I kind of did the same. I'm sending my explosive guys first. Fanatics first with the goblins. I've got my squig herd first, the trolls, the 2 manglers. Those guys go first. Savages and black orcs will come in to clean it up. And I want those black orcs going into that soul grinder if I can. Just a moment to look at his pretty army. Looks very, very nice. And so, yeah, looking at his deployment, he's boxed up there, and on his flanks, you can see on the left flank, or my left flank, he's got some Seekers of Slaanesh, and on the right flank, he's got them over there as well. So he vanguards them both forward. He vanguards this one just kind of toward the middle. And he rolls, gets to go first. So we go to Demon's turn 1. Moves his Seeker up to start threatening my War Machines and back lines. Oh, and then here, this custom terrain with the post-it note on it, that's a charnel pit. So he's got -1 leadership to everything within 6 inches, and I'm happy about that because I want him to do some crumbling. Everything else just goes right to the middle. He is holding that Temple of Skulls well with his Soul Grinder, and I want to get my explosive stuff in there, so I'm okay with that. Keeper of Secrets is over there by the Fiends, and so, yeah, it looks like everything's just pushing forward. We go to Magic, it's 9-6. With those wins, it ends up being Khorne's Wrath, which is the one that attacks Slaanesh. I think it only hits his Fiends on his side, he doesn't take any wounds, and it only hits my Trolls on my side. I don't believe it did anything to me either, so kind of a pansy Winds of Magic. Or Reign of Chaos, rather. In Magic, he throws for the big Miasma on the Trolls, and I let that go because I don't care if they're debuffed right now. He only gets 1 to all the stats removed, and that's it. He goes with the next 5 dice to try to do a Pit of Shades on them, and I had saved my dice and dispel that out, so they're just debuffed, but no Pit of Shades. We go to Orcs and Goblins turn 1, so it's time to charge. I charge the Squig Herd into the Soul Grinder because I want to do some wounds and then hopefully explode on them. I move my Goblins forward there, as you can see, and release some Fanatics. Just trying to, I'm not going right for the Fiends. I want to muck them up. I want him to come over me, so I just kind of throw them out from corner to corner the long way so that they just kind of stick in the middle. And then you can see my Manglers fall short. So I've got one blue Mangler in front of my Savages, didn't really go too far, and the other Mangler was aiming at the orange one. I was aiming at the Soul Grinder. He falls short there. With my cave here, or with my Goblin on the Cave Squig Hero, I just move it toward the Seekers. I know he can go around me. He's got all the movement in the world, but he's not going to be able to respond to me either. So I'm not sure who's going to win there. I've got a great weapon, a bunch of attacks. I think I could do well there, but we'll see. And then that's really here's just a picture of what it looks like, a little better picture. My right side and my left side. You can see the Ragnarok's coming around the side there. Didn't get a charge off, but just moved, so I'll be able to shoot at him a little bit. And yeah, just going right up the middle. During Magic, it's 11 dice to 6. I throw 2 dice at Sneaky Stabbing on the Squigs, and he lets it go. I fail to steal one of his dice for Dispelling. And then I go to Hand of Gork, and I'm able to move the Mangler over right in front there. So my thinking is he's going to have to be able to go through them, and I'll explode, and maybe have to go through a whole bunch if he wants to get to me. I'm liking that positioning. It's not the best positioning. I don't see that yet. You'll see that in a minute. Then, for the rest of Magic, I put a Foot of Gork down. I'm trying to hit his Keeper and the Fiends, and if I hopefully drift into the Chariot, I could do that. There's a whole bunch of targets there. Sadly, I drift. I still hit the Keeper and the Fiends, but I clip my Mangler as well. Thankfully, my Mangler has 1 wound left, all said and done. I put 2 wounds on the Keeper, and I only do 1 to the Fiends. So that could have gone way worse, and I put a couple wounds on. I feel pretty good about that. I believe I miscast to get that and ended up losing a few Savages there. That's what this picture shows. We go to the shooting phase. Doomdiver 1 drifts off the Keeper. I'm aiming for him now. Doomdiver 1 drifts off and kills a couple Demonettes, but Doomdiver 2 gets a direct hit. He fails his ward save on him, and I kill the Keeper before it even gets to cast a spell. Oh, I'm sorry, I cast a spell last turn. I kill it before round 2, we'll say. So that's a huge point swing. That's really going to hurt him. No more Magic. I think that's good. I kind of waited for him to crumble. I was like thinking he was like Vampire Counts, because we us Vampire Count players play with the poor crumbling rules. But yeah, that doesn't really do much for his army. He just loses his caster. I was kind of sad about that, because it would have been game over for a Vampire Count right there. In close combat, I fail Fear Test and don't do a lot of wounds or any to him. He does some back to me. You can see it looks like he's done 4 there, and I lose combat, but I'm able to make it on the reroll. BSB is just nearby, so I don't break and explode yet. Hopefully I can sink some wounds on him. But yeah, failing fear test means you just don't really do well with him. Demon's turn 2, so he charges his chariot right into the corner of the squigs, and I'm 7 wide, so that's why he can see me. Yeah, you know what? I'm expecting these guys to blow up, so I just need them to do just that. But that kind of sucks. I didn't really see that coming. Here's the bad placement. You only have so much distance. It's random distance to move with when you pick up a guy with Hand of Gork. Sadly, I didn't really think about his Furies. He passed his March test, and then he flew and landed right on all 3. 2 Fanatics and a Mangler. Took them all out at once, and there was no panic ensued, but they're just all gone. Very, very sad. I need to watch out for that. That is my fault. We go to Magic. He has no Keeper, but he rolls the Winds of Magic anyway for the Reigns of Chaos, and he gets a 7, so nothing happens. He has no shooting. But you can see, I think on my turn, he's missing a Keeper, or I'm sorry, a Seeker in the upper left. My Goblins on top of the Arachnarok ended up killing one of those, but I didn't have a picture of that beforehand. And that's about it. We go into close combat, and with the impact hits, he lands 7 wounds. He goes first. I'm pretty sure he killed everybody before they got to go. I don't think he killed them all. This is the one where we had the rules question. He killed all the squigs, and there were only goblins left. The goblins didn't do any wounds, and we had to call the judge over. He ruled that the unit does still blow up, and so when I blew up, I didn't do any to the Soul Grinder, but I did 2 to the Chariot. So if that's what I expected, I was hoping for more wounds there, but yeah, those impact hits just took a whole rank of squigs out. I'm kind of thinking I should run them differently, too. I think I should put more goblins up there, because, I don't know, I always want them to blow up, and it's always the squigs that die first. I don't know. I don't really know how to use them yet. So he overruns with his Chariot and doesn't make it into the Black Orcs, and that's not good for him because, well, I was going to chop him up anyway, but yeah, now I just got a speed bump. Actually, it might not be that bad placement because once I go through, I might not be able to overrun very fast, and I can't clear them. We measured it. I cannot get around that Chariot to get into the Soul Grinder with the Black Orcs, so it might not be that bad for him. We go to Greenskin's turn 2. I charge the Trolls in, and I'm going to... You know what's going to happen there. I can't really, with the angle, this is as much maximized as I could be. And then I send my Mangler, so this is the far Mangler too. He makes a long one, and I had to clip it through my Trolls to be able to go through. I get a whole bunch of hits on my Trolls and end up losing one completely, just bad regen rolling. I think I did maybe 1 or 2 wounds to the Soul Grinder as well, but now I'm just kind of sitting back there. He's either going to have to deal with me and step on me, or he doesn't have any shooting, so he's just going to have to let me bounce around. So that's not bad. I'm willing to trade a Troll for that. Black Orcs charge into the front of the Chariot. That's just going to be a quick speed bump. And, I mean, you can see that. It's a long distance. Those tongues are holding the Black Orcs back. I'm actually where his base is there. But that's a long distance. I'm going to have to hit and hope for a high roll to get into the Soul Grinder and join in for that combat. I just moved the Goblins up a bit. I don't want to give them an easy charge, but I move them up so that hopefully I can protect the Black Orcs, protect their flank if they fail to kill the Chariot. And I sometimes don't roll well, so it could happen. With the Goblin, even with his Supreme Bounder rule re-rolling that random distance, I fall short, and I'm stuck in the woods, and the woods ends up being the one where you take, on a 4-up, you take D6 Strength 4 hits. I ended up taking 2 wounds, so I've only got 1 left. That's not good, because I'm stuck in those woods, and it's dangerous terrain, and all this junk, so hopefully I can get out of there, or maybe he'll charge into me with 1 wound left, I'm not sure, but that's bad luck for that little guy. In the Magic phase, we go for Foot of Gork on the Chariot, and I'm trying to angle it so that I'm hitting the Chariot and hitting the Fiends, and it drifts a little bit. I don't hit the Chariot, but I do end up hitting the Fiends and kill one of them. One completely, it just does D3 wounds. So it kills one. I must have hit another one. Yeah, I must have hit 2 total because he's got 1 wound on one of those left. So that's not bad. Would have liked to stop the Chariot too, sadly. In shooting, one of the Doom Divers misses. I think the other one clips, either goes completely off or maybe clips a couple Demonettes. I didn't really keep track of the Demonette casualties, but I don't hit who I want going for that Chariot, so Chariot and Fiends just kind of drift. In close combat, I kill the Chariot, no problem, and fall short. I think I'm like 1 inch short. It looks a lot longer because of that hill, but I fall short by like 1 inch there. So that sucks because I'm going to get countercharged, and I can't help out my Trolls. I'm going to have to hope that they do really well in close combat there. Going into close combat with the trolls, it's basically just a push. I regen everything he throws at me, and he kind of makes his ward saves and everything I throw at him. Just nothing really happens. I think I might have landed like 1 wound on him maybe, but he's able to just make his instability check no problem, and that's the combat. So sadly, this didn't go the way I wanted on my turn, but it's not too bad. He's got a lot of targets to go through, and I've still got the savages coming up from behind, so we'll see. Demon's turn 3. So this is a little weird. He charges his fiends in the front of the Black Orcs. He gets his demonettes in there as well. They're clipping corner to corner with the stupid hill, as all terrain does this. You have to imagine that they're corner to corner. And then the chariot charges as well, and he, we measure, is in the flank. So he gets to come in right on the flank. And he also, because of those long tongues, looks like he's far away and doesn't make it. But he does. So all 3 of them are into the Black Orcs, and just with the Herald doing all of his attacks, he's on the corner there. It's gonna be bad for those Black Orcs. I mean, they're not gonna be able to help in the combat, and that's a lot to chew through. But it's not a unit that's worth 1,000 points or anything, so you know it's really expensive chaff at this point. Maybe I can take out you know, the fiends and the chariot, but that's way too many demonettes to chew through, and I'm not gonna be able to combat reform any way meaningful here, so I'm just gonna have to deal with it. Next slide. He just backs away. He's, you know, apparently. Slaanesh means big old pansy in demonic because he just runs away. And yeah, I think he's going to let the forest try to kill my guy before I can get out of it, which is actually pretty smart. Going over here, we go to the magic phase. The winds don't do anything. Actually, I take that back. The winds do a check. I forget what it is. It's the one where his heralds, all of his characters need to make checks, and he passes them both. It could have been nice. He could have lost his BSB there, but he passed whatever check it was. So nothing really happened. No shooting. We go to close combat. I lose a ton of orcs. I mean, he goes to town. Chariot comes in, does like 6 impact hits, tons of wounds. The fiends go straight forward on the Black Orcs. The Herald and the one like the one supporting attack from the Demonettes just go into him, kill 10. I kill one of the fiends outright, and I just direct all my attacks here. The few that can have to hit at the Chariot try, and I don't land anything because, you know, Black Orcs tend to whiff when they need to hit. And that's just bad. I lose combat. I managed to hold my BSB and my general are nearby. I think at this point I needed like Snake Eyes. Snake Eyes are 3, and I rolled it on the reroll, which was very lucky for me. But I don't know. It's going to be tough to win this. However, in a stroke of good luck, the combat with the Soul Grinder, I end up winning. I lose 1 troll for it, but managed to win, and I just re-angle myself so that I can charge in on the flank of the fiends there. And I'm thinking, okay, I've got a Mangler, I've got my trolls coming, maybe this isn't over. And I've got my goblins right there. So we go to Greenskins turn 3. I charge right in. So this is one of those weird combats where, depending on how it resolves, not everyone is touching. So left to right, we've got the trolls in on the left on the fiend. I'm hoping I can do that. Those Black Orcs with the Herald. Now he's combat reformed a little bit, so he's over. He's got 2 dudes in base contact. With as much as that Herald is swinging for the fences at ASF and rerolls, I think he's going to chop up most of his Black Orcs on his own. Then the Fiend's going to go, and the attack from the Chariot, they're probably going to kill those Black Orcs before they get to go. That's what I'm thinking. I don't really see a lot of point in sending in my Mangler back through that combat, so I just send him through the demons that are kind of like facing, like right behind there by his hand. I'm thinking, let's soften those guys up, and hopefully I can, you know, win with the combat res here, and he crumbles a bit because I've got, you know, the goblins in the side of the Chariot there, but we'll have to see. So I'm in where I want to go. This was actually a picture from last phase when he backed away at the end of movement phase. Yeah, we rolled the 4 up, it killed him. So my little goblin did nothing. I guess I scared the Seekers away from the Doom Divers, which is something. Like I said, I'm going to send the Mangler through the back. He only ends up getting like 3 wounds, and then I'm into that forest, so it's not going to be good for him. We go to Magic. I don't remember what the dice total is, but he ends up letting Sneaky Stab and go, and I get rerolls on everything with those goblins. That's hits and wounds, baby, so I'll take that all day. He ended up saving his dice for stopping rerolls in the Black Orcs, which probably, I'm not sure if that was that wise. He's going to kill most of his Black Orcs before they get to go, but I suppose it does look scary, and it could be. I've got extra hand weapons at this point because they don't have high toughness, so I'm just swinging for the fences. So we go to combat here. Here's what happened. The Demonettes and the Fiend and the Chariot all go with the Black Orcs like we expected. They kill the Orcs to a man. The goblins kill the chariot with all their rerolls and stuff, and now the demonettes and the goblins are out of combat. However, all that is still counts for combat res, so I lose combat and the trolls break. And the fiend who was in combat with him pursues, and that one fiend who had 1 wound left on him ran down my 4 trolls. It was so frustrating. My trolls just couldn't sink it. I mean, I had like 4 attacks. I don't think I had all... I don't know if I had all my guys in there or not. You know, it was weird placement, but I had a whole bunch of attack come back on him, and I could only do 2. It was just good ward saves from demons. What are you going to do? So he runs me down and ends up sitting right in front of my savages. So that sucks. Lost a good chunk of points there between the Black Orcs and the Trolls. Demons turn 4. The one remaining Demonette, which I don't remember how we lost all those Demonettes. If it was a Doom Diver. It might have been a Doom Diver. Anyway, however, whatever did it, at this point, he has 1 left. He ends up making a charge into this Doom Diver, so that's over. And the stupid 1 wound fiend guy passes his march test, and I didn't know they had this great movement. He walks right around. Now he's threatening that Doom Diver. I'm like, crap, he's right out of the charge arc of my savages. Man, that guy just took off. So that sucks. He charges my goblins with his demonettes, and I can't really flee. He's too close to me, but this is after combat. He gets in, does a bunch of wounds. I don't think I did anything to him. If I did, it was not noticeable, and he breaks me and runs me down. So that sucks. That's basically the turn. And at this point, this is probably the last turn he's going to get to have. So I'm deciding to be ballsy. It's charge time. I charge my savages into that group of demonettes, and I charge my Arachnarok. Now, I don't think I'm going to kill them all to a man. I was in their front with the savages. Excuse me, so if I made that charge, then I might have been able to kill him to a man, because I would have just kind of put the Arachnarok on one side and the savages all in the front. Maybe I would have killed them and crumbled them at that point. But because I failed my charge of my savages, Arachnarok had to go right in the middle, and my plan here, this was my backup plan, he has a BSB in there. Points are tight at this point. I'm thinking it's a tie, or maybe I'm a slight loss. So my plan is to send all the attacks at the BSB from the Arachnarok, and I'm thinking I should be able to kill him, and I don't think he'll be able to kill me. Those are just demonettes. So that's basically it for movement. He had killed on his turn, that one Seeker killed my Doom Diver, but the other Doom Diver kills a Seeker during shooting. Magic really doesn't have anything I can do in terms of foot. There's no one even really to shoot at, so we just go right to close combat. And I do his BSB goes first. I don't think he even landed any wounds in the Arachnarok. If he did, we didn't even keep track of it. But then I put all my attacks into him, and my multi-wounder hit, did 6 wounds to him, and I landed 5 other wounds to the normal Arachnarok and just killed him. So when it was all said and done, I ended up winning. It was 13-7 on the 20-0 scale, and I ended up getting that much from the points from the BSB. It was pretty damn close to a tie, but because I got the points from the BSB and the extra bonus points for killing the BSB, even though that unit was there, I ended up winning by 3 points. So that was pretty great. Oddly, with the scenario, none of us, even with the characters who were close or even actually up on the hill, nobody could embrace the favor of the gods, or no one chose to. So it was just a straight up no victory point, or no extra bonus points awarded other than the 13-7. So a good win for me. I think I would have liked more time, because I would have been able maybe to do, well, you know, I take that back. I have no idea how this game would have gone. You know, if my spider could have held them up, that would have been great. My savages might have been able to get into there. But at the same time, like, maybe he would have killed that spider. I mean, he only has 8 wounds, so one of those weird things. I don't know how it was going, but I'll take that win. That's game 1, and I should have the rest out shortly. Thanks for watching, y'all.